All right. We got some stuff to go over today. We got a new autonomous zone coming up in Portland, and some more clashes in New York City with the police chief. And this thing I saw on Twitter about whiteness coming from the African American Museum, and it's just it's something special. Let me tell you, it's something special. Plus the Commie kindergarten coming up.
The weapons of mass destruction, and missiles are on the Lord's band, and pointed at every nation. Time gets shorter. Crates of guns and ammo from country to country they go. They bring to
The police in New York have just had a clash with some of the Black Lives Matter. I'm kind of confused on what's going on with this thing, because it seemed like most of the protesters, they were clergymen and things, and they were peacefully protesting. And he mentioned something about all lives matter, which is a no-no, I guess. But you had a bunch of bad apples in that group, and they attacked the cops. So this is a little clip of them attacking.
An anti-violence rally in the city turning violent, with a number of people hurt and dozens of arrests. So this morning, police are releasing new video of a suspect seen attacking officers, among them the city's top uniformed cop. That suspect still remains at large. Fox 5's Robert Francis is live at One Police Plaza with more details on this. Robert, what is the update?
Well, Bianca, I just got off the phone with police. They tell me that all told, 4 officers were injured. 37 people were arrested yesterday, but they are still searching for that suspect who assaulted officers right on the Brooklyn Bridge. Late last night, police released new video of a suspect who they say used a cane to assault officers, including Chief of Department Terrence Monahan, who were trying to make an arrest yesterday morning on the Brooklyn Bridge. Monahan, in the white shirt, suffered an injured finger. The NYPD released these images of other bloodied officers. Tensions came to a head when Defund the Police protests tried to block anti-violence pro-police marchers led by clergy members who were crossing the Brooklyn Bridge from Brooklyn.
We are here non-violently. We are here to support all lives, black lives, white lives. Every life matters.
We watched as one man threatened an officer.
Stop touching people before I hit you with this rock in your forehead.
A cop was hit in the face with this nut and bolt, and a protester made a move toward an officer's baton right next to his gun before another officer scolded him.
This guy right here, if we lived in a sane world, he'd have a boot in his face right now. As soon as he reached over that fence towards that cop's gun, that guy in the white shirt should have just blasted him. If we lived in a sane world, he should have got blasted. Blasted. And then arrested.
Tensions in the city continue to escalate. What started as protests following George Floyd's death in Minneapolis morphed into calls to defund the NYPD, which the city council heard. But as all of that happened, the city experienced a spike in shootings, culminating this week with the killing of DeVell Gardner Jr., who was just 1. The question is, when will the violence end?
We believe that black lives matter, but we also believe that black lives have to matter to us first.
And the sad litany of gun violence continues. By our count, since 11 o'clock last night, 5 shooting incidents in 3 boroughs have injured at least 6 people. Fortunately, all are expected to survive, but police tell us they have not yet made any arrests. Bianca?
Robert, thank you so much for the update.
So in case you didn't know, one of the cops that got hurt was Terrence Monahan. He's the chief of police. And if you don't know who he is, this is him right here, kneeling, okay? This meme doesn't make any sense because this isn't the same guy, but he did get injured in this whole thing. This was another cop looks like a detective. They kind of look the same, but they're not the same person. So this meme really doesn't make any sense. It does to a certain point because Terrence Monahan did get injured. It included him. So, yeah, this is what happens when you kneel. When you kneel and you give in to these people. That's why I'm proud of the guy from Goya. He didn't give in, doesn't back down. He's not saying I'm sorry, I'm not kneeling, I'm not doing anything. Same with Terry Crews. A lot of respect to those two guys for not backing down. So this is what you get. This is what you get when you kneel. It's happening all over these people. These people don't care about your politics. They don't care about your politics. They're here for power and control. That's what they're here for. That's all they're here for. They're here to turn the country into a tyranny. That's it. That's the only reason why they're here. They don't care. They don't care about Black Lives Matter. They don't care about White Lives Matter. They don't care about anything. Now, those people on the bridge that were peacefully protesting, they do. But I guarantee you that I could have a conversation with that man. I could have an actual conversation with that man. The other people, there's no conversation. There's no talking to those people. And I don't understand why we can't make that difference. We can't separate that. And these cops can, take those people and just get rid of him. Start getting rid of them. Fighting back. The problem is that these guys are like the modern day, the United States ISIS, where they're starting to hide in between all the peaceful protesters. And I guarantee you, there's not that many of them. If we can just get these peaceful protesters and the people that want to protest peacefully separated and stop and have, if you're in one of those protests, you need to start calling these people out because they're ruining everything for you. Because I know a lot of people that I can actually have a conversation with that are part of these protests. A lot of people. And you should be able to pick them out. Portland's a lost city. Portland's gone. I got a thing what we could do with Portland and Seattle and New York City. I don't know. We still have Governor Cuomo, so it's the biggest problem. But yeah, there you go. This is what what happens when you kneel. When you kneel to these people. I know you're trying to show solidarity and you're trying to work with the peaceful protesting, but the kneeling part does not work. It doesn't do anything because the bad actors that are infiltrating these peaceful protests do not care and will attack you anyways. So we need to do something different. All right, so Portland has its own Chaz now. Looks like Portland's going to have its own Chaz. An unofficial Twitter page attributed a group of anti-capitalist and anti-fascist teens who call themselves the Pacific Northwest Youth Liberation Front. Whatever. But they put up barricades at the Chinook Autonomous Territory, or CLAT. CLAT. Sounds like a venereal disease. People are needed here all night long, especially in the early morning. Get on over, RN. I don't know what RN means. Oh, right now, maybe. Yeah. Bring some tents. The Twitter page said, sharing an image of the barricade that read ACAB, whatever. Anyways, there's a new autonomous zone trying to be set up in Portland, and this Portland this Portland mayor is just the worst. He's just the worst, and he's allowing this stuff to go on. Well, I've got a solution for these people, and to me, if they want to go, they don't want to be part of the United States anymore. Let them go. Let them go. Tired of dealing with them, really. So, any of these cities that allowed themselves to get taken over by these far left tyrants, Seattle, Portland, New York City, LA, Minneapolis, Chicago, I say let them go. They can totally be autonomous zones run by these children. And this is how I would do it. Number one, announce to the entire city or state, door to door, within 6 months that this is going to happen. Put it on the news. Make sure that everybody in your city knows what's going on. Okay? Number two, second step, you need to get permission from your state governor to secede. So that means New York State, Illinois, Washington, Oregon. Those governors have to approve of you being able to be an autonomous zone, the entire city. Okay? And, if the governors go along, they might even want to secede the whole state from the union. Who cares? Let's do it. Let's have it. After that 6 month period, we hold a special election for governors and mayors. For those mayors involved, those cities involved, we hold a special election. So the people that live there have a chance to either go along with it or change it. One of the two. And I'm pretty sure that people will change real quick. Number five, or actually number four. After the elections are over, then you give people who want to leave no less than 3 months, but no more than 1 year to get out of your state or city. And you buy them out to release them from their mortgages at a fair market value. So that means the city pays for those people's houses. And if it's such a good idea, it shouldn't matter to you. If it's a good idea, then nobody's going to leave. It's not going to cost you much, right? If everybody thinks this is a good idea, it's not going to cost you much because most people will stay, right? So, number 5, for those people who do leave, the city will pay for the unemployment for 1 year, including $600 stipend for disrupting these people's lives, and it'll be paid for completely with city funds or state funds. Once upon the results of the election, all federal money will cease and be withheld. After 1 year, any business done in these cities any manufacturing or businesses done within these cities limits will have to pay a tariff and an excise tax to export into the United States. So that means if you're building something and it's going to go into a Walmart, then you're paying tariffs, just like China does, like anybody else will. Any business with its headquarters still remaining in these cities will be subject to a tax for doing business in the USA. So that means if New York City wants to become autonomous, then you better move your headquarters out of there. Because if you're like a Merrill Lynch or something like that, where their headquarters in New York City, then any branches outside of that will be taxed. So you either move your business or that's it. And like the stock market and everything else, I think will be moved up. So I mean, it's pretty easy to do now. Nowadays, it's just computers. That's all it is. Number 9, these cities will lose all protections from the United States government, so you will not be protected by our laws or by our military. The people still residing in these cities will lose all their citizenship and will be subject to all ICE laws. So that means there's going to be borders, and you're not allowed to, if you live in New York, and you're not allowed to go to Pennsylvania without a passport. And, if you wanted to visit somebody in North Carolina, you better be able to fly, because you're gonna need a passport to travel anywhere. The state lines and autonomous zone border lines will be negotiated by Congress and a representative from the autonomous zone. So, there you go. Something I wrote up this morning because I'm tired of this crap. Tired of it. So, if these people think the United States is so goddamn bad, then let them go. Let them go. And anybody from any of these states that want to move there, they can move there. There's going to be plenty of housing. And they can sell off these houses and make their money back and have a good life. Bye-bye. Time for Commie Kindergarten. This is an older one, but it's still one of my favorites.
Going to need a party that will organize working people to fight for the demands that we want and to win socialism. Thank you so much.
Quick point of privilege. Quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Okay, is there a speaker against name, chapter, pronoun?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Point of privilege. Point of privilege. How do these people get anything done? I don't understand how they've gotten so organized. It's crazy. Anyways, all right, that's it for me today. Love you. Bye.